What's up guys, welcome to another video on my journey to recreate Skyrim as much as possible, at least on the programming side. Now surprisingly I have quite a bit to get through, from about 3 to 4 days of work, from simple improvements to full mechanics being made. Now this video might be a two-parter, depending on how long the video is after editing, so who knows. And I'm recording this a little differently, as I'm doing voiceovers and showing what's in the background separately. Now let's not waste any more time, get right into it. Now, what I want to first go through is some additions to the UI and some fixes I've done. Now, I have updated the look of the following items in the UI. The player bars, so the health, the stamina, the magicka, the mouse cursor, and finally the item details widget border, which, as you can see in the background, is what I've done. Now, these once again based on Skyrim because, well, they actually got to look like something, not just a box. However, to create these I had to use Blender to create the UI in a 2D plane and then render them out, which I will make use of in the future. And yeah, in the background you can see what I've done in the process. Well, not the current progress I've done, just the finished result. And yeah, I'll probably use this in the future for foreseeable projects in terms of UI, as well, it's better than spending a lot for Photoshop, which I don't even know how to use properly. So yeah, that is it for the graphic changes for the UI. Now the next thing I want to go through is the merchant system. Now in the previous video I showed the AI being able to use a melee combat system. Now it's applied to merchant system. The AI can now use it, so any merchants I create with the AI system, they will work perfectly fine, no issues whatsoever really. And I've designed it in a way I can create varied merchants. So I can make a blacksmith, which will sell you arms, weapons, ingots and whatnot to make armor. Alchemist to make potions and sell you ingredients. Got an archmage, which can sell you spellbooks. And then I've got civilian, which would sell you the basics, such as maybe like miscellaneous clothes, food and other little items. Now, with the merchants, the way I designed it, you cannot just kill them and get their items. That's the way I designed it. You will not get anything off them if you kill them, unless they already have stuff stored in their personal inventory, which is what I've done. The same thing applies to the gold they have. You cannot access that unless they already have some on them, I believe. I'll have to check on that one actually, but yeah. You can access any gold whatsoever if you kill them, which is good. Otherwise that's a really cheap way of getting stuff with no effort whatsoever. Now, what is an RPG without chests and storage boxes? This system, like the merchant system, was my simplest. I just haven't fully implemented it. Now I've fully implemented the loot system, as in chests, storage boxes, which means I can create varied different lootables, so like a small chest, a master chest, a closet, a wardrobe really, cupboard, all of those little things, and as well create all those little things and they own have their own loot table. So you'll randomly get a random amount of certain items that's in their loot table. Now an issue I've came across is on a reward play with gold. Whenever you interact with that you can get gold from accessing them. However, because there's no gold item, I decided to create so to give you the gold straight away. In the future I will create a UI element that will pop in, say you got 20 gold after opening the chest, and yeah, that is it for when for the loot system. Now, a quick little thing, another little update is in the previous video I meant when I was showing you looting the bodies of the enemies, I updated it. The buttons, it dynamically changes depending on what you have interacted with. So if it's an Archmage, it will say Archmage in the space there. If I interacted with civilian, it will say that there. Same thing applies to when you loot boxes and corpses. It all applies. So yeah, quick little fix that I've done. Quick little thing. I've created a main menu for the game. Now, most of you know how this works, so I'm not doing much explanation, but simple terms. Create a main menu for the game, so you could resume current, create a new save. You can load a save, and go into settings, change the settings, and quit the game. And same, and the pause menu. You could save the game, resume the game, and quit. Now, quick note on the loading doesn't work properly as I have not created data structures for saving the player data. I have not created that yet, so it does nothing effectively right now, but I'll eventually get to it. But I have done a system where it will dynamically add save files, and keep them. So then I don't have to have a set minimum number of save files you can have. You can have infinite if you really want to. But yeah, quick little tangent before I go into new systems that I put in place. Now, first on the list of new systems I've created from scratch is the Regeneration system. I can't do English apparently. Previously, I created this system through use of event ticks and all of that, and a bunch of booleans to determine whether you regenerate health or not. I just had to do a little differently, because based upon a previous system, which is the sprinting, which makes use of timer by events, I made use of that quite a bit in this project overall, mostly because it works and it does what I want it to do. Now, this is applied to all three player stats that regenerate: health, stamina, and magicka. And it is built together in 3, maybe 4 now. 4, because I've done some, when I wrote a script, I've done some extra bits. But like 4 custom events. The first one will do the startup process. It will do a timer of 5 seconds, so a delay of 5 seconds for you to regenerate, and it will start the regeneration, which will in turn start the loop of the third event, which is regenerating health. And of course the fourth event is to stop the entire regeneration process. Now it was previously 3 events, but because say I used a spell 4 seconds and a delay of 5 seconds, I want to use a spell at 4 seconds, you should wait another 5 seconds, not wait 1 second from the previous one. So yeah, I had to fix that by adding an extra custom event. But yeah, this has been used in a way, the premise of this has been used many times throughout many of my systems I've decided to create. And yeah, I'll go more into that in the next chapter. Now the next system that I made from scratch is a potion system. This required quite a bit of pacing back and forth. Now it also makes use of the previously mentioned timer by event nodes in most of its mechanics, as most of the potion system I designed is based on it will buff you up for a certain amount of time on a certain stat, and then after that time's up it will reset it back to its base amount. Now there are 4 different types of potions. There's the standard heal ones, which will increase your current stat up a certain amount until the max. It will never go past it. So like standard heal health, stamina, magicka, increase it like 20 points up, and then that is it. The next one is the regen. This one changes. This one can change the regen rate of stats for a certain amount of time, and then reset it back to its original value. I made use of this by creating health regen. So it will increase the regen stat by 5 points for a span of 20 seconds. And once that regen rate for the health once that timer of 20 seconds is up, it will reset the regen rate back to its original value. Now, the way I designed it, you cannot pile on regen potions of the same type. So say you've got 2 different types of regen health potions of different amounts and different times. One will override the other based on which one you took last. So if you took a 5 point and then you took a 10 point, a 10 point would override it. So yeah, that is the regeneration part. Now the resist potions. I have started to put in damage types. So frost, fire, lightning. Those are 3 damage types I'm working with. I've started putting damage resistance in. Now for this, I've done it where it will temporarily increase the resistance by a certain amount for a certain amount of time, and once its time's gone, it will reset back to normal. But I can't exactly test it, so I don't have many elemental damage weapons or anything. So yeah, that'll be a future test, but it does work in terms of the code, really. Whether it works in practice, we'll find out when I get to it. The final type is the increase. Now, this would temporarily increase the max amount of a stat you can have. So, for example, I have one that increases the magicka by 20. It'll increase that by 20 for like 30 seconds and reset it back to its base stat, which in this case is 100. The final potion, actually, just remembered, is a poison, which in the future I'd like to have it as you put it on a weapon and it will deal the damage to the enemy. That would come in a bit later though, and I eventually get an enchantment system in. However, for now, if you drink it, well, you poison yourself, basically. So, yeah, might be a bit evil, mask it as a health potion, but really, just to kill you. So, yeah, that is a potion system in place. I've used the time of event nodes quite excessively. Whether it'll come back and bite me in the ass, don't know. But I guess I will find out. Now, the final system that I've designed from scratch, with a lot of pacing as well. After everything I've done on this project, overall this seems easy, because if I'd done this 2 weeks ago, I know I would have struggled. I would have searched up how the hell do I do this, or I would have spent a lot longer, as this system was effectively not even in place prior to my previous video. I got a data table, that's all I had. I had the actor component, that's all I had. I didn't have the code for it. So I created all this logic and everything starting after the previous video. Of course, I stopped here and there to do the other things that I've previously mentioned. So yeah, this framework only works for player. It does not work for the AI as well. I haven't finished coding the behavior for it. Once that's in place though, it's quite it should work seamlessly with no issues whatsoever, I hope. Fingers crossed. And also another thing to note is, as you can see, there is no animations for the casting of spells either, and there is one particle effect, a lightning particle effect. It's a fire one, but it's not been added. But there's one particle effect for lightning that I wanted to do it, but I wanted to get it working really, and with the way I wanted it in terms of like impact points on particles. like, because I have no animations, it makes it a bit harder in terms of that. So for now, it's just 2 points in front of a player where they'll shoot a spell from. Once animations are up, they'll do it. Now there are 4 different magic types I've coded. There is a standard projectile, so simple, shoot a fireball or hit it, deal damage, that is it. There's the explosive one, which will shoot, it will explode on impact, and it'll do a radius around it, which will deal damage to any actors in it. There is the beam one, a beam, so you'll constantly cast it if you have Magicka, for a certain amount of range. So, like I'm showing, I am using lightning in front of me, I can constantly use it until it runs out. Once it runs out, the casting stops. And then the 4th one is like instant spells, which would buff the player. In future, I would add one that may increase the armor rating for a certain amount of time, may, I don't know, do a bunch of other stuff. Of course, I'll expand it a lot more. There's one I want to do where it's an area around the player. It will do something around the player. Now, and then maybe a constant cast one. Those are the 2 I want to add more in, but for now, this is like the basics. For now, I want to have a break of magic system, as I worked day and night for the past couple of days, and it was a bit painful on some bits. So yeah, that is it for this video. It was a real pain to do. Or to code it all, really. I hope you enjoy this format a little bit more. Let me know. It has comments either this is shit, or it's good. Like, just comment or whatnot if you want more of this format. If you don't, well, I'll go back to how I've done it previously. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Which actually, you might get another one this week. I don't know. Depends on what I get done. You might get a short one. You might get a long one. Don't know. Depends how much work I get done this week. But yeah, that is the end of this video. Have a good day.